So I had the urge to buy it right now, but I'm gonna wait for this candle to close. And if it's bearish, I'm gonna market execute. If it's bullish, then I'm either going to buy a limit at the open with this candle. So I'm feeling that like I'm gonna miss the move. I have a minute left. Wait for this candle to close. So the overall time frame on the daily is bullish. We do have sell side liquidity here on the hourly, divergence here on the 5-minute. So we create a fair value gap, create another one here at a limit order at the open here, and then stop loss. I don't think we need to fill this fair value gap in, so I have my stop loss under the low. And we have buy side liquidity up here, so I'm targeting a 2-to-1 because it's a Wednesday. It could be a New York expansion because I do see that we have consolidation all day. For the news, there's nothing for news. Could just get a chill day, not much movement, but we'll see. Came into this fair value gap. It could just take off and I'll have to be okay with that. But wanting to see this open 717 right now, so maybe we'll hit it at 730. The low was made at 650. So I saw the divergence here and I initially was really eager to buy it, but I decided to wait for this fair value gap to finish forming. It's Wednesday, so I gotta be patient. Got a little bit of FOMO that I recognize. We have a busy here, so in my head I'm like, okay, maybe we can do this. We take an aggressive entry. So since the low was at 650, 20 minutes from that is 710. Let's see if the next 20 minutes, if we can get another expansion from there. Swept the initial highs for buy side liquidity. See if it come back to entry and then keep going forward. There is S&T here at the highs, so we'll see if this continues to keep going up, or if we create bearish fair value gaps, then we'll see if that invalidates our trade or not. So we did create this swing low on the 5-minute, possible continuation. It is a New York expansion condition, so it may give us this, may not. Thinking maybe I could put half risk for this. See if it'll reach up here for 2-to-1. It has been almost 40 minutes from the low. I got another position. This one is half the risk. Entry was hit right now at 737. Came back to London Open. So we'll see if this fair value gap gets traded to and filled for a possible second entry. Really close to entry right now. It almost hit the open of that candle. So we are in the second trade. We do have SMT at the highs. It's outside liquidity here. We took out this one on the buy side. So I'm aware of this bearish fair value gap that is most likely going to be made. So it's to see whether this one holds or if we're going to come back up and reject from here to go down. It's important to understand the process over profits. So I'm following the process. Not every day is meant to trade. Not every trade is meant to win. Just gonna follow my plan where I control my risk and not the outcome. And the goal is having the least amount of errors. So that's 2 trades and done for the day. Risk is managed. No signal, no trade. So far I've taken the trades that provided me my signal, and now I just have to wait. Something I'm curious about is if we leave another fair value gap, a bearish one, and we have 2 going in our opposite direction, is that a signal for us to get out? And so I'm going to be taking note of today. So we're seeing right now that we got a swing low that formed under 50% of the range. So we'll see if we get another fair value gap bullish after this candle and another candle form, and maybe we can put another add-on entry that's half the risk if we can get a bullish fair value gap. So right now, obviously, the trade is going against our direction, and so I'm thinking, when do I move my stop up to this new structure? Well, ideally, we can get above this, then we can look to move it. But right now, the trade is still valid to come back down here, and so we'll see if this creates another bearish fair value gap. And at that point, I think the trade is unlikely, and so I may get out of the trade. Right now, just waiting and seeing if we can get some bullish momentum. So it was worth it to wait and see. We had this bearish candle that came down. That scared me a little bit, but we stayed in the trade. So I'm going to move this stop loss up to this next structure because we created higher high within this larger range. And so I think it's safe to say that I can move this structure up to reduce the risk. And now we just hit the premium of the fair value gap, so we're getting some rejection here. So right now both trades are in profit. We use this old fair value gap here after running both sides through it. Used as support, came back down, used as support. This fair value gap here that the body's almost respected fully. So we did have 2 down candles for the retracement and then bullishness. I thought about adding an entry here at this order block, but we'll see. It's New York expansion, so it could extend with bullish candles after this retracement. Thought about pyramiding, but just gonna wait. Right now, we're close to our TP, and so I was having emotions about, oh, I could have pyramided here, could have pyramided here. Before with that, I have my trades in profit, and I reduced my risk. This is my break-even point for one of these trades, so I'm just going to wait until it's TP. If it does hit TP, that's a break-even. Now this trade is risk-free. The price came pretty close to take profit. Rejection here a little bit. It's 10 a.m. and we have this run up, so I've considered closing partial position on this. Not sure what the right move is, to just close out most of the trade or just wait and be patient. We do still have a pretty tight small range today, and previous 2 days were pretty big, some expansions, so I shouldn't expect too much from today, Wednesday, with no news. Tomorrow there is news at 5:30. I think what I'll do is just wait for it to hit take profit or having this bullishness. So something that I remember someone saying was, be hopeful when you're winning, be fearful when you're losing. A lot of people do the opposite, where they are hopeful when they are losing and fearful when they're winning. So that leads to people closing out their trades early when they are in profit, and then not taking a loss when they are losing. Even if it's just a partial, they're still hopeful that's going to turn around. So as we can see right now, we are pushing up and close to hitting our TP again. Just gotta be patient. So this trade ultimately won. It hit TP and we made the low at 640. We expanded for about 45 minutes, and then it came back down. It retraced down for like 15 minutes, and then we continued to grind higher. This third fair value gap that was formed, I put a entry here, a very aggressive entry, and this got taken out. I'm glad I put half a risk on this one because I knew it was aggressive, and so maybe the third fair value gap I'm not entering. Maybe I should just wait for the second one at least. So we made the low at 740 and we grinded higher. We did have these 2 fair value gaps that were bearish against our initial direction. That was a little bit scary, but this got quickly taken over, closed above it, and then this fair value gap, it was consolidating inside here, which was good. This fair value gap that I thought was going to support price initially got traded through and then above, and then it kept the bodies kept inside it afterwards. So I used it as support, creates another fair value gap, use this as support. I did debate on taking a entry here for a bullish order block. We had 2 retracement candles, and so because it was like after 9 a.m. I didn't take the trade. I didn't pyramid into it. So we ran up after 9 a.m. during this New York lunch hour, and since we did consolidate before New York for most of the time, we just continued to grind higher post 9 a.m. So right here, I believe it was really close to my take profit, but then it started rejecting. I debated on whether or not to close the trade early, but I decided to hold on to it and be hopeful while I'm winning. It eventually got higher, and so this was a good trade. I followed my risk management. I learned something from here, this third fair value gap, and we'll do this again another day.